All right, guys, what's going on? Hope you're doing good. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good weekend. Just wanted to get on here and talk about the Charlie Kirk uh, situation. I was going to talk about it a lot sooner, but I knew after what happened that it would get really toxic, and it did. It didn't take no long for a bunch of toxic stuff to start happening. Um, I'm coming at this totally neutral. I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was, right? Didn't even know it. I seen the news. I seen where it happened. I was like, well, is he a political person? Is it, again, I'm making a video because this is just my view on it, my 100% neutral view. I feel like this is an honest, opinionated video because, quite frankly, I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was, right? Like I said, I'm not into politics or anything like that. Didn't know who the man was. So all I know is people were saying, well, Charlie Kirk died doing what he loved to do, right? But I got a problem with that because, um, there's dying doing what you love to do, and then there's just dying by an act of violence, right? And then people say, well, he died doing what he loved to do. No, Charlie wouldn't have wanted to go out that way, in my opinion. Nobody would have wanted to go out that way, no matter what they were doing, right? Now, you take a NASCAR, like a race car driver, they have an accident, it kills them. That's what I consider going out doing what you love to do, right? An accident. But when it's an act of violence, no. Even if that person that you take out is doing what they love to do, it's no. I just don't feel like you can say at that point, well, they died doing what they love to do. I mean, technically they did die doing what they love to do, but it's wrong. That person was doing what they love to do. Now, and I'm talking to, no matter if it's a race car driver, scuba diver, whatever, some other high risk stuff, skydiver, whatever. I mean, in most of those cases, I mean, their lives are ended through accidents or whatever like that, not acts of violence. You know what I mean? Just and like being a president, like if let's say you remember when Ronald Reagan, the whole Ronald Reagan thing. Let's just say if he ended up, like whoever done that. I was little at the time, so pardon me if. So like when Reagan got shot, like if he passed away, it would be hard for me to say, well, he loved doing what he loved to do. I mean, technically he did. He was, he loved and wanted to be president, but now when it comes to getting taken out by a pew pew, not unless you are in a battle, military battle or something like that, then I might say, well, they went out doing what they love to do. They knew the risks. But just whether it be whoever, like I said, just whatever, there nobody, no matter who it is, if they're peaceful people, no matter their opinions or whatever, there's a lot of people that I really do not like, right? But it's just when you start It's mental health, guys. When you start mentally saying, I'm going to take this person out, then at that point, the problem is you. You may say that they're the problem and that's the reason why you're going to take them out. No, the problem is you, in my opinion. The problem is the person wanting to take them out. And we've got to, and again, I've been preaching this, I've been pounding the table for a long time. We have to get a grip on mental health in this country. It's got to be, at some point, a top priority because the weapons are out there. I mean, we all know the weapons are out there on the black market. There's probably millions of them out there with their serial numbers scratched off. Swapping hands every day. And it's probably getting worse too, to be honest with you. And all it takes is for a couple people that are just not right in the head and just batshit crazy to get a hold of weapons, and then you have a situation on your hands like the concert in Las Vegas. Y'all remember that? I think it was Las Vegas. Remember that guy was, shooting from one of the hotels? I forget who that concert was. But it's a popular concert, I believe. A couple people died there. Act of violence. Schools, other, you had the Boston Marathon. Y'all remember that? A bunch of just batshit crazy people with that. They ended up using explosives. And then you've got these parades or these gatherings, and you've got batshit people that'll take cars and just plow through people. It doesn't have to be a pew-pew for it to be an act of violence, right? But in a lot of cases, it is. And I think all these people, whether it's a pew-pew, a car, explosives, I don't know what other else, knives, whatever, until we get a grip and start prioritizing mental health and getting people. I mean, there was just a stabbing up here in Sevierville the other day at a mental health facility. Go Google it. I think it's in the news, WVLT. There was a stabbing at a mental health facility right here in Sevierville, So that's where it needs to begin, guys. We need to get, we need to prioritize mental health resources. If you suspect someone could be, plotting to do something because they're just you think they're batshit crazy, and you realize, oh crap, maybe they okay, now they got weapons that of. Don't stop and question yourself. Well, I don't want to be wrong if they don't do something bad. I don't want to be wrong and put them in the spotlight they don't need to be put in if they don't do something bad. But what if they do something bad? Then you're like, the red flags were there, and I didn't want to bother nobody. With it. I was just like, well, I don't want to be a bad person here and, be wrong about it. I'd rather be wrong than, and a lot of that stuff can be kept confidential anyway, you know what I mean? Just like if you see someone walking down the street, with a high-powered rifle and they're exhibiting in public and they're exhibiting a mental health crisis with a high-powered weapon in their hand, Yeah, I'm calling 911. Whether I'm right about it or not, whether it's someone pretending, wanting to get a reaction from people or not. I mean, me not knowing the situation, yeah, I'm dialing like 911 yesterday and be like, you got this, there's some person walking down, because some places are open carry. But I don't care. I mean, if you're exhibiting, symptoms of a mental health crisis or you're just not acting right, yeah, I'm going to dial 911 and we'll worry about me being wrong about it later, right? I'd hate for people driving up and down the road to get taken out, and you like, maybe I should have called 911. Maybe I should have reported that. But I think what it is, we're just afraid. Everybody is now afraid to get involved. That's basically what I'm afraid to get involved. And then once something happens, you're like, well, maybe I should have said something, which means getting involved. So, but yeah, the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Again, the person that done it. I've not really even read anything on the person that done it, but I'm just gonna go and just assume that the dude had some mental health issues, because I'm telling you, normal people do not do this kind of stuff. Normal people do not commit act of violence like this stuff right here. People that are just they've got some mental health issues, batshit crazy, there's too many Letitia Stouts running around in the world today, and too many. There's too many monsters to mention that are just running around in society today, and God forbid they get a weapon or explosives or whatever. But I think until we make mental health a top priority in this country, and people start, if you see something, say something, and until more of that starts happening too, it's going to become the norm. It is. I mean, you're going to be looking over your back, whether it's, a small community festival, a big city festival, parade, whatever, unfortunately. And it's probably getting to that point to where people are just like, no, I'm not going to, I'm not going out and doing anything like that. The world's gone crazy. I'm just going to stay home. There's a lot of people that just do not go out in public anymore anyway, just because in their mind, the world's gone batshit crazy anyway, right? If I stay home on my property, I can control that. If someone comes on here and tries to commit act of violence with me, I can deal with that. I can deal with that myself. But if I'm out in public and someone sneaks up on me and tries to commit an act of violence on me while I'm not, expecting it, that's different. A lot of people will not go out. It's gotten that bad. I mean, it's almost like we're living in Iraq or Afghanistan, Syria. People are, it's not a lot of people, but even though it's just a few people, it shouldn't be that way. This is America, right? This is America, and it just shouldn't be that way, guys. I mean, we should be excited to go out to festivals, parades, whatever, and not have to worry about bombings or events of mass casualties or anything like that. So, but in my opinion, it starts with mental health, and until we make mental health a priority in this country, and more people start, if you see something, say something, until more people start acting on that. I mean, it's just going to be in the headlines more and more, in my opinion. So let me know what you think, guys. Do you think I hit the nail on the head with this video? Again, I did not know Charlie Kirk, didn't know the man existed until whatever happened. Again, I'm not a political person, but I mean, no matter who you are, race car driver, skydiver, scuba diver, doctor, lawyer, judge, congressman, whatever you are, nobody should have to go out with an act of violence. That's just, no. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Appreciate you for tuning in. That's my 2 cents. Appreciate it. Get down there, drop some comments. And again, hope you had a good weekend. I'll see you on the next video.